Welcome everyone to another episode of the Muff Sports Show. I'm your host Hayden Haynes. This is episode 3 of the program. Of course, joining with me is Seth Killen
Yes, sir.
and
That's
Cody
me.
Hart.
What it do?
And we appreciate you guys joining us again for another great episode. We have a lot in store today. I just want to
Yes,
say
we do.
thanks again for all the support recently, all the fans that are tuning in. Thanks for following us on socials at Muff Sports and listening to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, of course. Can't forget that. You know that we're posting those videos out there, so don't forget to check that out if y'all want to see some of these visuals that we're showing like we will today. So we appreciate everybody once again, and we're going to keep clipping a bunch of stuff, posting on TikTok and Instagram Reels. So just make sure to follow us on that. But a lot of big stuff coming. We're just still going to keep rolling here. Obviously, we want to talk about NBA Finals today. I think we're gonna jump into that first, but I'm just gonna give y'all a little, okay. Let's relax,
Yeah.
Celtics. Relax, Celtics. We're gonna give y'all a little rundown
Oh,
for the list of things that we want to talk about, the topics. So NBA Finals first, and then we're gonna go over some other NBA news, and then jump right into the NFL. Just a few things that we want to touch on, and some EA Madden information that just came out, and some other fun stuff with that. And then we're gonna go into a over under like we did last week. We did it with the wide receivers. We did our over unders for some wide receivers that we had. I think basically like the 8 wide receivers that just got paid, and then I think we threw in Stephon Diggs, right, Seth?
Yeah.
Last time. So now we're going to be doing the quarterbacks, and we just picked 12 on DraftKings that are the first top 12 passing yards. We're going to go through later, and then we'll touch on college football. There's something new that has been going around, a rumor that we want to discuss. Is very, very, very juicy, crazy implications for some big conferences, and also just
mhm.
some other college football playoff projected field by Andy Staples from On3, and then finally just a little bit of our Dynasty League. Just kind of forgot to talk about that last time. I just want to, end the show with a fun little,
Little
personal,
banger.
you know, inside scoop on what we're thinking of our GM dynasty future. So that's it. And today, like I said, we'll start off with the NBA Finals. Basically, we already know. Right now, we're recording this the day before the game 3, so this will be uploaded during the day of the game 3. And before that, obviously, it was game 1 on Thursday of last week. And we know how that went, boys. Cody Celtics got the dub 107-89. First half
Pingus
was a
Pingus
huge first half by
was
Tingus
going
Pingus.
dummy.
What a guy there.
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis, though, led everybody in the first half in scoring pretty much. I think he had 18 in the first half alone, finished with 20, and then basically was on fire. And really, the Mavericks can never get going that game, and we'll dive into that here shortly. But yeah, the star of the show was Porzingis. He was leading the scoring department, but also doing a lot on defense. Cody, and his steals, and or not steals, but the blocks were
They
huge.
were
On
crazy, bro.
both
Oh,
ends
they were going
Yeah.
crazy.
in each half, and I think that we underestimated how healthy he was going to be. But
Yeah.
we're gonna segue later into the rest of this health problem that he's unfortunately still dealing with. But he started off really strong, right? So we'll jump into that, I guess, right now. Were we surprised at all how the game went, or was it just kind of like expected? Game 1 at home, Celtics are honoring Bill Walton that night. They were kind of going to come out firing. I think we all kind of knew, besides Seth, obviously his prediction was 4-0 here. So,
Mm,
but we knew, I think I told you, Cody, before the game, I felt like the Celtics would probably win game 1.
Yeah, I feel like, unfortunately, Bill Walton passed. Everybody has seen that, but I just felt like I thought we were gonna win either way. Like even
Yeah.
before that news came out, I thought we was just gonna dub. We at
And
home.
and it
We're gonna
was it
take them
was the
out.
truth. I mean, y'all killed him,
I
and
think
Hey,
I really do think Kristaps played a huge part in that. Just getting the
right.
no, he
crowd
did for
riled
sure.
up at the beginning
Yeah. Yeah.
was just something it's hard to beat there.
Yeah,
The
for
crowd
sure.
definitely was feeding off that energy of those blocks and those, he was just making shots on everybody left and right.
Bro,
Like
he was going dummy.
the pump fakes he was having and
Hmm.
like the little like small hezzies and then pull up over you with like a hand in his face, but he's 7 foot, whatever. Like, he's gonna get that shot off every time. So he's
Yeah.
pretty much ridiculous in that department, like just a shot making ability because he's just so gifted as a scorer. But Jalen Brown did score 22 points. Also Porzingis had 6 rebounds that game, so he was effective. We talked about that a little bit in that one series in the Heat series early on. He didn't rebound as well before he got hurt, but
Hmm.
And he did all this in limited minutes, is what I was going to say. He didn't play a full game. He came off
Yeah.
the bench like we talked about. Al Horford still
Mhm.
got the start. Derek White though finished with 15 points. And then the Celtics were up by 29 in the first half, and they connected on 16 of their 3-pointers. So this is a great start for the Celtics to get their 18th championship, and we think game one was definitely a blowout, but it seemed like we're going to pivot to the Mavericks real quick. Luka was doing his thing. He scored 30, I think, again game one, and was pretty
Yeah.
much just left hanging. So there really isn't much to talk about from that because it was just basically all Celtics. Yeah,
You
and
know who I'm looking for? Where is Kyrie? Where's my MVP?
where's the MVP? The
Where's my
prediction
MVP?
is down the
He ain't
drain, brother.
nowhere. He ain't nowhere.
Oh, he's coming. He's dropping 40 every game from here on out.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie,
Bogey?
man. I respect the double down. Yeah, I
I'm
mean, look,
doubling down. I still think he could be Finals MVP if he just has literally a masterclass.
he has to have a
Which I mean,
master
Luca with the
class.
triple double though might make it kind of hard.
Hey,
Just leave
dude,
him.
But
Got
I
my
need
broom out.
something.
Got my,
I need anything. No
we
way,
walking
dude.
into the Mavs
No
and
way,
we're
dude.
stomping on them.
If the Mavs give swept, oh, it's
not
chalked.
sweeping.
They're not
We
sweeping.
sweeping.
There's no way.
We're already out getting our.
We're gonna talk about why they're not sweeping in a minute. But you can go
Oh,
ahead, Cody. Get your rant.
I'll let you know why. Because all the Celtics players are at Home Depot searching for cleaning supplies to sweep them with. Because they clean. They on mob duty.
All
Nah.
right. Well, they're certainly
Yeah.
the Mavericks are on pack watch right now, but we're gonna have to start off, with the sad blowout. But the series did get better. It did.
Mm-hmm.
It
Game
did
two
pick
was
up
a lot
game two.
closer.
Going into that, game two was on Sunday night. It was a much closer game. Celtics won 105-98. And really at the end of the game, the Mavs, honestly, we're gonna talk about this in a second, but the Mavs
Sold.
maybe got robbed though, because
Oh,
there was
yeah.
the foul that Derek White had in transition on PJ Washington that wasn't called. Not saying that's the reason why they lost, but they also did miss multiple free throws. I think Luka went 4 for 8 on free throws. He did have a 30-point triple double. But yeah, and Kyrie was still, nowhere to be found. PJ Washington had a pretty solid game. But for the
And
Celtics, they were led by Drew Holiday,
Drew Holiday
who
had a LeBron
Yeah.
game. A
has
LeBron James
been
game.
balling, and he had 26 points, 11 rebounds, and
Just going in.
they were just a collective unit, just played as one, and nobody was really going too crazy. I mean, Drew Holiday definitely was, but like Jalen still only had like 22 or 21. Tatum really shot the ball rough. It was 12 assists from Tatum and 9 rebounds, which was huge. But his 18
Mm-hmm.
points wasn't like a efficient 18 points. He was shooting the ball poorly, like he has been the whole series. Jaylen Brown, like I said, had 21 points, 3 steals. His defense has been great. I think Jaylen Brown, in my opinion, is the MVP
Great.
so far. I know people are saying Drew
Mm-hmm.
Holiday, but Jalen's been 21.5 points per game, multiple steals, multiple blocks, like getting his rebounds and
Yeah.
assists. Like he's doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's efficient too. That's where I was going to go with that. But to say all that, the last thing about game two, yes, was at the end of the game, it was tight. And basically, it kind of like was like tight. And then it went like a quick 10-point stretch in like a minute and a half. And there was like a timeout, I believe, by the Mavericks. They came back. And then basically from there, they cut it. They kept cutting it down. They kept cutting it down. And you were like, okay, maybe like under a minute left here. They're within like 6 or whatever. They could low key do something with this. But there was a situation where PJ Washington got a steal and then goes in transition. And you're like, if he makes this layup, I believe it would have been a 3-point game or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was going to be close to one possession, if not a one possession. And he got, like, not on the arm, but on the top of his hand, bottom of his hand, he got smacked by Derek White's hand. And it was in the replay, you could see it. And I'm not like a guy that's like saying this is why they lost, but literally that would have been at least something that could have made it interesting, down the last possession or two. But either way, though, the Mavericks are still not getting enough out of Kyrie. I think he
they're
finished
not.
with 16 in that game,
That's
and
awful.
he just is still shooting the ball really bad and taking a lot of ugly shots. And
They
he's getting
actually
clamped
have
up
to
by
bounce back.
Peyton Pritchard. Like, what are we doing?
They have to bounce back, dude.
Right. So I guess that's my question on this, so we can kind of wrap up our thoughts on the NBA Finals so far. What do we think is going to happen in the next game, game 3 tomorrow night, and also the next game, game 4? And then will the Mavericks even get back to Boston? Like, would they, like, I know Cody's, giving your Celtics take, but like legitimately, do we think now? Because this is the other thing. Kristaps is the newest news today. Is Kristaps Porzingis has a day-to-day lower leg injury, and I'm not going to begin to read what it is because it's something that nobody's ever really heard of, and it's super rare.
Yeah,
But I
it's a
don't think it
crazy injury.
matters. I
But
don't think it
he
matters.
might still play.
He
But
literally said in the meeting that he gonna die out there. He don't care about
he
no
don't
injury.
care.
He said he gonna die for that ring.
Hey man, you gotta
Mhm.
love
And
that.
I respect
Mhm.
it. That's a hooper right there.
Right. And
Mhm.
this is a guy that, has been hurt a lot. So he's probably tired of it. And he's got to ball out on the biggest stage.
He's got to. He has no other chance. But now,
Well,
Yeah.
I guess here's the, let's analyze this. Do they have a shot now, the Mavericks, that Kristaps potentially is out?
I mean, I think they have a shot because they're going back home. Luka's been eating. He just had a triple-double game too. He's got to get his role players more involved.
Mm-hmm. And they
I
play
think
well at
Kyrie.
home.
Yep, they do play well at home. I think Kyrie's got to step up, and I think honestly, if Kristaps is as hurt as they're like saying he is, I feel like it might diminish his game a little bit, and he's gonna be trying to push himself so
Yeah.
much that it's gonna like fuck
Make it
over the
worse.
Celtics. Yeah, make it worse for the Celtics. Kind of like be
Almost feel like
trying
the
to
Celtics
produce.
are gonna like basically come to the conclusion, we're so deep, we could probably win without them, and let's just see what happens game 3, get them back get them back game 4. So I feel
Yeah,
like that's what's gonna happen. I think Kristaps is gonna want to play, but they're probably gonna hold him out. So that means we're gonna see a
yeah,
lot of Al Horford, and I think
which is still scary.
it's going to be fine for the Celtics overall, but the only problem is now you're going back to Dallas, obviously, where role players at home, especially in a final situation, tend to have more confidence and shoot the lights out. So is
Yeah,
this where the
Mhm.
Mavericks get the Kyrie Irving masterclass? They, him and Luka combine for 65 or something. And then you have
that's what
PJ
you
Washington,
needed.
Gafford, Lively, who I said was my X factor, who has not done anything because basically the first game they were just like you just had to sit the bench because he was not being able to produce against like Porzingis. Second game he was
Yeah,
playing more minutes. Him and Gafford kind of played about the same amount of minutes, but they're just not really getting the bigs involved because they're having so much problem getting around Porzingis. And Horford's playing
yeah.
great defense. So I think
Mhm.
Cody talked about that. Horford's a great defender. So do we
No, he is.
do we see like the Celtics kind of having a slip up? Because I feel like a lot of the mainstream media is thinking that like they're going to slip up game 3, and I know you don't want that, Cody. But what do you think really could happen?
I mean, obviously that could. I mean, that could be a big factor. It's at home. Dallas, obviously, like you said, I mean, they're going to shoot the lights out or at least try. But I see the main factor, and we've been saying it all day so far, is Kyrie.
Yeah,
Kyrie has got to produce at home. I mean, you got to,
you just
you
Yeah, I
know.
mean, there's
you
no,
just
you
can't.
I mean, you got
You're in the
to.
finals, like you're an all-star, all NBA player. Like you got to
yeah,
ball.
like it's literally the finals, bro.
It's
And
Like
literally
you're
you
gonna
finals.
have
choose
got
to be booty now.
Yeah,
you have got to score at least
At
30 to
least
40.
30. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I mean,
100%.
you gotta go off.
And you would
You
think
At least
got
the
to.
25 plus.
Celtics fans were probably getting to him.
No, for sure. And I
Dude,
feel
I
like
think,
also
yeah,
he has to take the attention off of Luca because
Yeah,
he
I
does,
mean,
dude.
dude. Luca's getting
he has got
hounded, but
to.
He's
Luca's
getting
still getting
banged
hit.
up.
Luca's
I
getting
mean,
his
Lucas,
though, no matter
yeah,
what.
I mean,
He
no
is
matter
getting his
what, he's gonna
bag.
ball. I
Yeah.
mean,
He's just
you
I mean,
can't stop him.
32, 11, and
That's the
11 game
Celtics.
2 is
Like I've been
insane.
listening to so many people talk about it. The Celtics are like, we'll live with that as long as Kyrie's not doing
No,
anything.
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's what I was
Think
saying. I
about
was
it.
like,
You
Luke,
lost by 7. You missed. Luca missed 4 free throws. You had the no call at the end, and Kyrie shot
mhm,
terrible. How did
And
you
you had
just
yeah,
LeBron James, Drew Holiday.
right?
That
So
ain't
if
gonna
you
happen every
just
time.
take care of business at home, I legit and if Porzingis is hurt, I'm telling you right now, this series could be tied up, and we'll be like, like this is a whole different thing now. Like we're
Dude, it'd be
going.
yeah,
lit,
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. And I think now that like that's the real possibility after we saw game 2 go the way it did, because you're literally like, okay, they're just a little too nervous in Boston. Like there's a little bit
hmm
that these guys like PJ Washington and Gafford, who are great players, but they haven't been in the situation. They're struggling on the road in a crazy hostile environment. And then you have Kyrie, who's had all the bad voodoo in Boston. Maybe they figured out Porzingis doesn't play as much or he doesn't at all. Then you win the first game, and then you use that confidence, win the next game, and then you're back. It's tied up. Anything can happen at that point.
yeah,
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
easily.
that's really it on the NBA Finals right now. We're just gonna keep going because we pretty much know that's really all they got to do is just get Kyrie
Yep,
involved
they
and start
do.
shooting the ball
They
better.
have to.
Because they've had
playmakers.
limited assists, dude. Every time I look, I'm
Yeah.
like, they have 5 assists, and Luka's
Yeah,
only
they're
got
Yeah.
not
like
that
a
good.
couple. Like I'm like, that was game one. It was like nobody's making shots. So, anyways,
Nobody
Nobody.
doing shit.
other NBA news we have the Lakers have been trying to find a new replacement for Darvin Ham. Basically, their head coaching search started with a rumor of JJ Redick, and then it went quickly to Dan Hurley, the UConn men's basketball head coach who just won the back-to-back national championships, and looks like he's just on a different level than most coaches right now in basketball. Completely, he's intense. He's got the background, all the good stuff. Now, it was kind of surprising that he turned it down to some people. He turned down, obviously, the Lakers are one of the biggest brands in sports. 6 years, $70 million was offered by Genie Bus and the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think what I heard, and I don't know if this is fully accurate, but basically he's probably just using them, right? He just wanted to go use it as like a recruiting thing for one, and also to get more money from UConn or anybody else in the future that's going to possibly offer him a job. Because there's another talk that he might want to stay around and wait, try to win 3 in a row for UConn, call it a quit. I'm done. Great career in
You
college.
can't end on a dub.
And then try to go possibly to New York, because they're talking about if Thibodeau can't figure out something this year with Brunson and all these guys, that they can fire him and then he would just turn around and get replaced by Dan Hurley, because they're in UConn, which is right next to New York. And that's something I've been seeing. So that's really that. It's going to be interesting to see the Lakers hire, possibly JJ Redick. And I don't know if y'all know, LeBron and JJ Redick have that podcast called Mind the Game, and they talk about X's and O's on there and a lot of stories. So maybe that's something that will happen, but people are thinking maybe now it won't, because JJ kind of got like pushed to the side. Maybe he doesn't want to be the second man on their list. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting. What do you think JJ Redick would look like as a coach for the Lakers?
Well, I mean, let me say this back to the Dan Hurley thing. I didn't think he was gonna go. I didn't think he was gonna go just because you look at that roster and it's an old roster.
Yeah,
really. If you look at LeBron, AD, Russ, I mean, they're gonna have to rebuild here soon. LeBron's gonna be gone in a couple of seasons, obviously. AD, you could probably say the same, give him like 5 more seasons. He's probably gone. Russ is probably the same way. You're going to have to totally rebuild that. I think he saw more value at UConn, obviously. I mean, he's won the 2 natties. Okay, back to back.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom, pow.
Hey, you can't leave on 2 natties.
Back to back.
You might as well try a 3.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I just never saw it happening at all. Yeah, I saw it pop up on my phone. I was like, it's not happening.
Go ahead, sir.
I also think that like he doesn't want to deal with all the drama behind the NBA scene too.
Right.
Like he's got his players at practice like running stadiums and doing all these workouts. And I saw a meme the other day that somebody posted where he's got his team running stadiums, and someone said Bron ain't doing that. He said he ain't running no stadiums. I was like, that's so true.
Bron gonna tell him to run the stadium.
Yeah, he gonna be like, get up there, Dan. Come on now.
Go up there.
Let's go ahead and run a lap real quick, Dan.
He gonna look at him and be like, you look like you need some cardio, not me. You get on them stairs.
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
You are my sunshine.
Speaking of that, the other day, if anybody knows the LeBron James sunshine meme, they literally showed a dad. He was like, I think he's like a dad that's trying to like do a TikTok where he's like, the journey of making my son the next LeBron. And he's like, listen, chat, like everybody listen to this. My son's crying right now. Watch, this is the one thing that'll make him stop crying. And he like flips the camera and turns, and there's LeBron on his TV. You are my sunshine. And it's just that, and his kid is just chilling, like so sleepy, like just posted up, falling asleep to LeBron memes, and everybody's like, yeah, this is why he's the GOAT. But
dude, I love it, dude.
It's so funny, man.
I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't even think he's going to the Knicks, dude. I really don't.
He's just gonna stick to the college.
I think he's gonna stick to college, and then he's done.
I also heard one thing is that, do you think when he goes to a safety bid, he's not gonna have as much control and an NBA team as he does at UConn? He controls UConn.
Yeah.
That boy controls that basketball. Anything he gets,
especially
whatever
LeBron's team.
He was using it. He was using it as clout to be like, He was trying to tell UConn recruits like, I'm possibly the Lakers coach, like, but I didn't go
Yeah.
because
That
I
bread
love
at?
I love
Where that
y'all.
bread at?
Now
UConn?
I
Yeah.
love y'all. Y'all my boys.
So that's really it for all the NBA stuff we wanted to talk about today. Now going into the NFL, first thing on the list, Darren Waller, former tight end for the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders.
Pack it up.
Now was the New York Giants tight end the last couple of years. He is retired officially. So Waller,
He's
up.
moving on to a blooming rat career.
That's why I got that new rookie. That new rookie.
Theo Johnson.
Theo Johnson, baby.
Yeah, so
Theo.
Darren Waller had a couple good years in Las Vegas
No, he did.
before he kind of fell off because of some other, whatever, injuries and also just a bad situation at the Giants. But he unfortunately had to go through some tough times with his personal life, and he's just done with football and he's pursuing other things. But we wish the best to Mr. Waller.
Wished him
Maybe
the
he comes.
best for
Maybe he
sure.
comes back, man. You never know.
You never know.
I hope
Yeah.
the
Might just
divorce
be
goes
taking a
well.
break.
Yeah, sorry about that, sir.
Sorry about that. Just pursue your career in rap. I think you'll be making big.
He'll be. Yeah, just keep pumping out those music videos. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about was the Jets. They're kind of going through some crazy stuff right now. Which when are they not? I'm sorry, Jets fans.
It's the Jets.
Yeah, they're ugly.
Also, I'm trying to fix my mic a little bit, but basically, the first thing is Hassan Reddick, who was traded to the Jets from the Eagles. He is holding out of Jets minicamp, and he awaits a new contract extension. He's one of the league's best pass rushers, but kind of weird, like when teams trade for somebody and they don't have a plan for like a contract, So it's a little interesting to see how that's going to play out. Like, is he just going to force his way out of New York before even playing it down? Like,
wow,
what do you
crazy.
think? Do you think he's going to do that?
I think he's just they're trying to see if he produces at minicamp, I guess.
I mean, I guess they just want to see him first and be like, all right, he's fine.
Let's see what you bring to the table here.
That's true. I mean, he's got to like know that, but he might be thinking, whatever, I'm not trying to be on this team. And he wants to go.
It's like you said, bro, like how do you trade for a player and then not have a contract lined up? Like that's kind of weird.
I know.
That's crazy, dude.
It happens a lot.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I feel like with him, he's probably worth the money that he wants. I think he's good enough.
No, for sure.
I don't know how healthy he is right now, though. That's the one thing. I gotta obviously the Jets. I want to see him play, but another part of the Jets chaos right now is Aaron Rodgers. Nothing crazy, but he's basically just missing mini camp right now, mandatory mini camp. He's going to receive some fines, according to head coach Robert Saleh, and he basically is at something that he felt like was important to him. So who knows what
that boy don't care about them fines.
No, he don't care about them fines. He care about that darkness retreat.
Yep.
That boy on a mountain. That boy on a mountain somewhere, pitch black.
On a mountain.
Just cooling.
He's just like floating. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
That man is.
He might
trying
be.
To prepare.
Maybe he's at hosting Jeopardy again. We don't know.
That man is in a mountain somewhere, tripping sack, studying football film in a dark room.
He's like in the mountains tripping, and he's talking about Jeopardy questions to himself.
He's just playing down every down in his head.
He's thinking about how many Super Bowls he could have won if he wasn't choking in the NFC Championship. Anyways, sorry, Mr. Rodgers.
Shots fired.
So another thing with the NFL, it's not really with the NFL, but it is. It's EA Madden or EA 25, whatever, Madden 25. It's coming out. We all know how Madden is. It's kind of hit or miss, and I'm gonna get it, but I'm also just getting it with the bundle of the NCAA games. So I'm definitely playing NCAA more. I can't wait for that, Cody. So we're ready for that. But the newest member of the Madden cover community is none other than CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Congratulations, sir. You have now made your way off of my fantasy team. Because you're cursed, and you're never seeing my lineup.
Pack it up, buddy. Pack it up.
Pack it up.
I'm not kidding. I think I saw that today, and I literally said, like, I can breathe. I'm keeping CD Lamb.
Dynasty.
I might change that.
Let me say this. Brothers.
Yes, brother.
We're gonna a new number one running back in the league, and Hayden, it's on your favorite team.
Oh, Bijan.
Yeah.
Bijan.
Wait, that's actually like so terrifying for Christian.
I
Yeah.
know.
Like I'd be stressing.
Well, let's revisit.
That'd be
Last year
terrifying.
was Josh Allen, and he had a decent year for Josh.
He
He was
did. He didn't have a
solid.
bad
I
year.
mean, it didn't
Yeah.
year, yeah,
He
for
didn't get
sure.
hurt, nothing crazy like that. We have seen players in the past get hurt as soon as they've been on the cover. I mean,
Yeah.
but really though, it hasn't been that bad. I feel like in the past, what's it been? Lamar, he kind of got hurt.
Mhm.
Pat Mahomes, I mean, he's been great.
Pat Mahomes and Brady, right?
And Mahomes is on one, and
Yeah.
then Mahomes and Brady were on one too. So I mean,
Yeah,
you
and
think
they were both fine.
he's fine. They're fine, but there's also goats. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think the Madden curse is more of like a Odell thing, a Peyton Hillis thing. Like I don't really know how much Vince Young. Like there were some guys that definitely were cursed after that. So I don't
Yeah.
for
know.
sure.
We'll see. That leads me into my next thing. And said this is where you can share your screen whenever
Yes,
you
sir.
are ready. I wanted to
Yep.
ask y'all this question, Cody. And Cody, I don't know how much you can see whenever we share the screen. Hopefully you can see it all.
Oh.
Mhm.
But it's gonna be a post that I found today from BR Gaming, and they're basically just asking what's the best Madden of all time. There's 6 options, and each option has different betting odds on them. So I don't know if you've ever seen posts like that where it's like, oh, like favorite foods for Thanksgiving, and there's the odds for it or something. It's like turkey plus
Can we see it
1.
here?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. So, what's the best Madden of all time from these 6? And based on the odds, what's the best bang for your buck right here? And Seth, you can start first.
Yeah, you already know. I'm definitely going the
And
Steelers Cardinals Super Bowl right there in 2010.
We should have known
we
that.
should have
Hayden.
known. We should have known. And brother, you
Yeah.
might as well just expect my answer.
Yep.
Yep.
I know your answer.
And that's Madden 2004. And I think a lot of people would say that's one of the best. Michael Vick.
Yeah. I will say though
I would
that
say
Cody, which one's yours before I say it? I mean, we should already know here. I mean, we're literally all repping our teams here.
it ain't what you think.
Uh-oh. Which one?
I think it's the
It's not the top.
Let me guess. I grinded this game with my cousins. Okay,
Okay.
I'm talking about so many dynasties, so many franchise drafts. Talking
Uh-huh.
about 100 of them, just spitting them out, different teams. I'm gonna go NFL cover. Madden 16 OBJ.
that's what I was
One-handed
gonna say.
moss.
That one's a sleeper right
If
there.
I didn't pick my Homer team pick, I would go OBJ as well. Because
Yeah.
that was like we were in high school and it was crazy. You know, like that
It was
Yeah.
crazy, dude. I
That
loved
was a
it.
big Madden game, man. I remember that game. It was very good.
It was beautiful.
So we're good on
No,
that. Thank you, Seth. for
all
that.
of them on that list, though. All of them on that list were bangers.
Dude, the Peyton Hillis one's so funny. You know, like
So funny.
speaking of Peyton Hillis, Chris McCaffrey's the first running back since him to be on the Madden cover. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
that's kind of wild.
they've been going wide receiver. You know, Troy Polamalu, Larry Fitzgerald, and then they've done quarterbacks a lot. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's that really. And then another news.
Who was
Sorry, go ahead.
the last non-quarterback? Was it?
Might have been OBJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was it Richard Sherman? No, he was on 15.
Was he
I think.
15? I can't
Yeah, I think
remember.
he was on 15. He wasn't
Actually,
on
it's
17. Wait, it's
it's
Gronk.
CMC.
Oh, Gronk's on one? Yes.
Yeah, remember
Shut up.
Gronk's on 8. Gronk's on 18.
Oh, Gronk's on 17?
17 or 18.
Yeah, I'm bad at these. But yeah, you're right. That's crazy. I forget about that. Another
CMC.
news. Seth, you're gonna like this topic.
I do love
Steelers
this topic.
Pittsburgh Steelers extend Mike Tomlin to 3 years. So shout out to Mike Tomlin for being pretty consistent.
One of the best coaches of all
I mean,
time.
Okay.
Wouldn't say
He's good.
Hall of Fame
He's
coach
one of the
for
best
sure.
for sure in the NFL, but how
I wouldn't say it.
yeah, that's
Yeah, of all
one Super
time.
Bowl,
How many?
21 how many 18 straight winning seasons?
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. So now
About
he's
to be
got
19,
okay. Yep. That's my next question.
especially with Justin Fields and Russ.
Okay. All right. I like the confidence here, brother.
We're
Get
winning
ready for a 7-10 season.
We're finally gonna win a playoff game
Woo! No more just
for
making it
God
getting
knows how
bounced.
long.
I can't say anything, dude. My team hasn't been in the playoffs since BC, before Christ. So I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna go off into the next thing, which is our over under for the week. And like we said, we did that last week, and that was for the wide receivers. This time we're gonna go through quarterbacks, and we have 12 quarterbacks. These are the top 12 quarterback passing yard totals on DraftKings. Number one, and Seth, you
Starting
can start us
number
off.
one.
Patrick Mahomes,
Patrick Mahomes.
4,350 and a half.
I think.
As we go through this, I will tell you what they had last year or previous years.
Yes,
too.
please.
So give
Before
me,
we choose, we should do that.
well, I have mine already. But give me your thoughts on Pat Mahomes right now. What are you thinking?
What do you have last year?
I got to pull it up, but I think he hit this for sure. I looked at it earlier. So, Pat Mahomes. So Tua led the league with a lot of yards. It was like 4,624. Mahomes didn't have his best year number wise,
Didn't
but
he?
he still
Didn't
had
he have like 44?
4,001. No, he didn't hit this. 4,183.
Wow.
And they just added
Xavier
Hollywood
Worthy.
Brown,
Yep.
Xavier.
Xavier
Hollywood
Worthy.
Brown.
Xavier
And Rasheed Rice
Worthy.
will play this year. It's just how many games is he going to miss?
Yeah.
I
So,
think I might go over here. I can't lie.
okay. I'm going to tell you right
Just
now, I have Patrick Mahomes going over as well. Cody? Oh,
it's
God.
gonna be the odd man out here.
No, he's going over.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's easy.
yeah,
That's Mahomes.
yeah. Definitely
Okay.
over.
All right.
Oh, I'm
CJ
gonna go ahead
Stroud.
and put mine in there.
CJ Stroud's projected, or his line is at 4,150 and a half.
He's going over, brother.
Obviously, it was top, last year in passing. He was number 8 with 4,108 yards. Now, it's a little bit less than this line, but he did add Stephon Diggs. He's, second year in the offense. I'm going to say
Andrew
CJ
Mixon.
Stroud. Yep, Andrew Mixon. CJ Stroud goes over here. I don't think he
Yeah,
has
he
a problem.
does.
He got a lot of
Not one
weapons.
problem.
They'll throw that ball around. Cody, what you thinking here? Uh-oh. Got this smirk on your face, man. Wipe it off.
Wipe that smirk off.
Because
he's
he's going.
This is the Titans guy we're talking to.
Under.
He's going over.
He's going over.
Oh my.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep fooling
A
you.
lot of these guys, it's so hard to see them going under, but you got to think about injuries when you do these, So that's kind of where I was thinking. But yes,
all right, Cody, you're starting here.
Dak Prescott.
I'm starting.
4,150 and a half over under.
See, I looked at his stats earlier, and it's like every other year he's like at the top. He's like top 5 passer, right?
Yep.
And then like the next year, he's like either gets hurt or he just doesn't produce as much.
Yep.
And last year,
Let's hope not.
he went crazy.
Yep. I like where your head's at. I like where it's at here, brother.
No, no.
And you can mark me for the under as well. Dak Prescott's going under.
Go ahead and put me on the over.
Seth has
Oh,
CeeDee Lamb,
need it.
everyone.
I
I've
actually
said this
need
every
him.
episode, but Seth has CeeDee Lamb in Dynasty, so he does. And
I
he has
have
Dak.
him and Dak. I need it, please. Go
Yes,
for
wow.
5,000.
All right.
He
definitely could throw for way over this, but I'm gonna say my thing is like Cody said, it's a little up and down with Dak, and I think I can see him missing a couple of games this year. So going under.
For sure.
Tua Tagovailoa, 4,105 yards. Tua, like I said, led the league in passing last year, 4,600 something. So, Seth, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna have to go over here, man. I mean, you have Tyreek Hill in your offense. You have Jalen Waddle. You have
OBJ.
A-Chain. Now you have
Yep. I'm
that's
saying
no
over
brainer.
as well.
That's no
I just
brainer.
think if Tua stays healthy, and even if he misses one game, I think he's hitting this.
I went ahead and put Cody on there because I already know he's gonna.
Cody, you think
over.
Tua's getting it?
What, bud?
You guessed right.
Yep, I knew it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Of course, he's going over.
Jared Goff,
All right, Hayden.
Detroit
Jared
Lions,
Goff, buddy.
4,050 and a half yards. Jared Goff last year. Mr. Goff, what did you have? Oh, he had a great year. He was second in the league with 4,575 yards. How could I forget?
Oh my god.
Yes.
What was his year before?
Year before, I got to pull that up. But Jared Goff marked me down for the over.
Yep.
His year before that, to answer your question, Cody, In 2022, Jared Goff had 4,438 yards.
Hit me with the over. He's
Both
gonna do it
years with the
again.
Lions, he has cleared that, and he's played all 17 games in each season, so that makes 34 straight regular season games in a row, including those 2 playoff games
Dude.
last year or 3. So yeah, he's a guy that's staying durable, and they just have a great O line, so it's kind of hard
Yep.
to sleep
Just
on
signed
them.
a banger contract too.
For sure.
I mean, yeah, he's
For
their
the
guy,
money.
dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's definitely developed into such a good quarterback.
Such an elite
And he was a
quarterback.
good quarterback, even at the Rams. He got him to the Super
Even at the
Bowl.
Rams.
It was just a little
Yeah.
bit of a something was missing with that offense, and they feel like they needed a Stafford vet quarterback, and it was honestly the most
Yeah.
even trade in history. So I mean,
Oh, even trade in history,
for real,
dude, for
good,
sure.
good trade by those guys. But Joe Burrow's next, 4,500 yards. Now Joe Burrow
Cody.
missed a lot of games last year, so we can't even look at his numbers. But we know Joe Burrow usually goes over this. So what are we thinking?
He's going over for sure.
Mid.
Oh, Steelers fan speaking. I
Hayden?
remind myself.
Go ahead, man.
I went back and forth on this a lot, but I kind of think Joe Burrow's going to have a good year. Maybe he misses a game, but he'll be over 4,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right there
I
with
think
you.
They got enough
it's
offense. I
definitely
mean, I
going
really
over.
was looking at their roster. I mean, they'll be all right, especially if T. Higgins plays. They'll be fine. But even if
For
T. Higgins
sure.
doesn't play, I know they lost Tyler Boyd, but like, dude, Jermaine Burns is going to be a good wide
They
receiver.
got Jermaine Burton.
They got that dude that's on my taxi. That's actually like a tall wide receiver. It's Slovis or whatever. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a good, solid pickup. I feel like Gesicki will help too, so they'll be fine. And you know who's his running back right now? Zach Moss and Chase Brown.
Zach Moss.
Yeah.
They catch a lot of passes, so I mean, I could see them.
Supposedly,
What are we doing?
I've heard a lot of good things about Chase Brown. Like he
For
could
sure,
take
he
over.
looked good last year. He looked good.
I
Yeah.
definitely have heard that.
Kirk Cousins.
All right,
next.
Hayden, your bread and
Your
butter
guy.
right here now, man.
Yeah. So Kirk Chains has gone over 4,000 a lot. He's done that most of his career. I mean, he has some years he doesn't, but for the most part, I'm going to pull it up here. Kirk does go over. Now, last year he was hurt. So clearly he's old. He is 35, about to be 36. I'm pulling up his stats real quick. That's why I'm talking a lot. And let me check. So he did hit this line in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the last 9 seasons. Now, with the Falcons, I obviously want to hammer the over, but I had to talk myself and look at some numbers and crunch some stuff. I'm going under because I actually think Kirk's gonna probably just because of his injury and his age, I think he's probably gonna miss like a couple games, and I feel like it won't be because he's so hurt. I feel like it's more of like Falcons being like, let's try to manage it. And we also drafted Penix. Let's see how Penix, does and not stress Kirk's injury out too much. So I can see a situation where Kirk plays 14 games, misses 3, and barely, misses the 4,000 line, ends the year with 3,900. And it's still a good year for Kirk. I mean, I'm not hating if he can't play all 17 games. I just want you to be able to be there during the playoffs. That's it.
And I mean, Bijan did say they were going to be running him like
and
CMC.
But then Drake London said today the rock is going to be thrown. Like they're going to be airing it out. And I do see that. That's why I'm so back and forth. I'm going under, and the favorite on DraftKings is actually it's like minus 130 or minus 135 to go under. So I'm just going to think Kirk misses a few games and unfortunately goes under. But I take it back. Give me the over.
Huh?
The switch up, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't let it happen. I can't let it happen.
What you mean? That's a what you mean moment.
That's
right
a
there.
what you mean moment.
My heart won't let me. Give me the over.
Figured, man.
Guess what it is, baby? Kirk Chains.
All
right, what do y'all think? My rant's done.
Well, I think like you said, man, he just got off that injury. We were talking before the pod about how we have to take an accountability of some injuries here.
Yep.
And I think Bijan's a young stud, and I think they're going to be running that rock. I think it's going to be a big run offense here. Obviously, they're going to throw a little, but
they got the Rams offensive coordinator, offensive pass game. So I mean,
From last year?
Yeah, and he's hit the 7 out of 9 years, and he would have hit it last year for sure if he just didn't get hurt. But that's what I was saying. The injuries are a problem. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna be the guy, that guy, man.
All
I'm
right,
gonna be
you're the
that guy. I mean,
Okay. You're the guy. All right, Cody.
Cody,
I don't
join
like
the
this
dark
guy.
side, brother.
When Cody
Join the
starts
dark
looking at
side.
me like that, I don't like that.
Join the dark side, brother.
All right, let me tell you something. Let me talk to you.
Let me hear it.
Okay. Kirk Cousins, Kirko Chains, Kirk Cobains.
Yep.
He's coming off a serious injury. He's got a great roster around him. Great roster. Love that team, Hayden. Love that team.
Yeah, love it too. I feel like something's about to happen.
But he ain't getting 4,000. He'll be lucky if he gets 1,000.
What you mean?
Yeah. Now we're talking about gritty.
He's gonna
Now
get
we're talking
1,000.
about
He's gonna
gritty.
get 1,000 week 1 against the Steelers.
He gets like half of that, like 550
Huh?
yards.
Mm-hmm. You heard me.
Huh?
He's gonna get like 400 on
He
you.
ain't even getting 100. He ain't even getting 100.
Let me tell you what's going to happen game 1.
No,
Ladies
don't
and
tell me
gentlemen,
he's getting crunched by TJ Watt because I'm gonna end the
what's going to
Zoom.
happen. TJ Watt going to hit that little swim move.
Tell him, Cody. Tell him.
You know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen, bro? Bijan is gonna go for TJ's shins and just take him out. Bam!
Let me tell you what's going to happen. He's going to hit that little swim move. Boom.
You know what?
Kirk
Actually, not.
Cobain's.
Bijan's gonna get his Bijan mustard and dump it on the field so he slips like a banana peel and tears his ACL.
What? Are you talking about TJ?
I don't want to say a player's getting injured, but guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here
It
first.
ain't
This
happening.
man is preying on an injury. This man is preying on an injury. He's preying on
Don't
it.
cancel me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Cody's always preying on
Put it
it.
in the books.
No, I'm not.
If anything happens to the Falcons, it's because he just said that.
Yep.
I don't even care anymore. I went through 28-3. I feel nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Falcons are winning the Super Bowl. All right, continue.
All right, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp,
fantasy quarterback. I'm heading to over. I'm not even hesitating. Go.
Yeah, I don't think I'm hesitating either.
Matthew Stafford over. Done.
Put all 3 names down on the board.
Oh gosh, Stafford's gonna have a good year. He almost had it last year. He missed by like less than 100 yards. So
I'm putting all 3 names on here.
Oh, Bears barking. So basically, I think Stafford's gonna have a great year. That's why I have him in fantasy. I think he's got enough left in the tank. He's got offensive weapon power, like weapon pieces that he can sling it to. So he'll be good. He almost had it last year. Just got to stay healthy, hopefully. What?
Brock Purdy?
So that's already
Brock
marking under on Brock Purdy, 3,900.
When you have a Madden curse on your team, you might as well just chalk it up for the whole gang.
Nope.
Because the whole gang.
Let me tell you something.
Screwed.
You want to know something, Steph?
Come on, man.
Talk to me.
Tell me when Debo and Ayuk are finna be off the team.
I like where your head's at, brother.
Yeah.
And I'm joining you. Brock Purdy's going under.
Going under.
I was thinking the
same thing. Back him up.
He's going under. And yeah, it's gonna be close, but I think he goes under. He might miss a game or two. Maybe Christian's out. Hopefully not, but I can see Debo getting traded as well. So maybe they run the ball a lot this year more than they have in the past for whatever reason. I don't know. Probably not. It's going to be a good mix, but I just have a feeling Brock Purdy's going to go under barely, and that's where I'm at.
Give me Ayuk. Give me Ayuk on the Steelers, bro.
What if it's Debo?
Well, let me say something.
All right, Cody. Let's hear your spiel here.
I don't give a piss about the Madden curse. Okay.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
The Roll Tide Willie's coming out.
You know what's looking real pretty right now? Is that over? And I'm slamming it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Right. That was a good one. I like that. That was a good one.
All right, brother. moving on. Jordan Love, 3,900.5, the same line as Brock Purdy. I don't know.
Smacking it over.
Well, he's the
Yep.
quarterback, so I would hope so.
Yep, you better.
In fantasy.
He is.
Actually, this one's crazy too, but I'm going under. Jordan
Yep.
Love, I got going under this year because honestly, you know what? I got Josh Jacobs running
Eating.
for like 1,300 yards.
Mhm.
And this
Mhm.
Jordan Love, you never know, man. Injuries happen, like I said, and he is favored to go under right now, which is kind of interesting to me. But yeah, I don't know. I just got a feeling that he barely goes under, just like Brock Purdy. Maybe he has a little bit of a dip from his good rookie year, or not rookie year, but first starting year. And
Yeah.
then Trevor Lawrence, 3,800.5. Seth's already marking himself for the under.
I don't think he's hitting that.
I'm
Well,
right
tell
there
you-
with you, buddy.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Christian Kirk is going off. Trevor Lawrence is gonna show you why he's a good quarterback, and he's going over 3,800.5 yards. Put it in. Brian Thomas will have a good year. Gabe Davis is on the team. ETN's on the team. If you didn't know, Evan Ingram was tied in 2 in fantasy on the team still.
Give me one more chance.
Guess what? Last year, Trevor Lawrence would have hit if Calvin Ridley, who I love, didn't drop so many catches. So I'm going over T-Law.
Cody.
Hey, Rod.
Do you know who this guy is? I don't know
Yeah,
who
this
this
man's-
guy is.
The man's in the
This
mountains
guy's-
somewhere.
This guy, no, this guy.
Me?
This guy in the red
Oh.
right here. Yeah.
I
don't know
thought
who
you
that
meant
is.
Rogers.
Nope. I'm talking about Hayden. Thinking
I'm also-
thinking Trevor's about to go over.
Oh, he's going
that's
over.
his. That boy's head's in the mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna- hey,
Hayden's up in the mountains with Rogers.
We're going to
Uh-huh.
clip this, and we're going to revisit it. That's
Yo,
all I'm
we
gonna
we
say.
going to. Just like we gonna revisit that TJ Watt
Oh,
TJ
we're
Watt
revisiting
comment you made,
every-
buddy.
we're
Little swim move.
Just to let you know, Trevor did have 4,016 yards last year. And yeah.
I was with Calvin though.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Calvin dropped a lot.
All right. Next
All
guy
right.
on the board.
Yep.
Hey,
Aaron
Rod.
Rodgers. Yep.
3,800.5.
Let me talk.
What you think?
Let me say
Okay,
something.
Cody, let's hear it. Let's start it off, buddy.
You
And we know
see,
you love Rodgers as a Packers guy.
we ain't going down there. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't let me talk
My
about
bad,
the
my
fake
bad,
Titan.
my bad,
Fake
my bad.
Titan fan over here.
So, Rogers. He in the mountains somewhere. Probably not even thinking about football.
Probably
Okay.
not.
That boy staring at a tree. Okay.
Yeah.
But that tree's speaking to him. Okay.
What's
That
it
tree's
saying?
saying, "You
What's it
still
saying,
got
Cody?
He's saying, "You still got the sauce, baby. Go out
Okay.
there and let it show." Okay.
Okay.
He's comeback player of the year, possible MVP.
What?
Write it down.
Yo, clip it, chat.
Clip
Chat,
it.
clip it.
I think someone's
This
got a
man's back-
case of the glaze.
This man is about to get 4,500 yards,
What?
about
Kinda
30
like
to 40
that. I can't
tutties.
lie. I do like that. I do. If
He's
he
about to
stays
show you
healthy,
why.
dude, if he's healthy
He's
and
gonna
he's
show you
going
why.
on he's going on his darkness retreat, he's being one with the earth.
He is.
He's
this
speaking
man,
to the grass. He's saying, "Please don't hurt me.
don't hurt me this time. I love
Don't hurt
you.
me this time. I love you, grass. Please
I'll
don't
plant.
don't hurt
I'll
me."
come out.
Okay.
I'll come out to every
You
field
know-
and plant the grass.
Honestly, I was thinking the whole time under on Aaron Rodgers because of their O line, but they did kind of beef it up a little bit.
A little bit. They did.
Man, because didn't they get what's his name from the Cowboys, Mr. Tyron Smith?
I think they did.
Let's think about this, Hayden. Aaron Rodgers, MVP, multiple times, Super Bowl champ, coming off an Achilles.
Garrett Wilson,
With Garrett Wilson,
Mike Williams,
Mike
Brees Hall.
Williams,
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall,
That division
and
was a little
Alan
scary.
Lazard, who was at the Packers.
I'm
And he
gonna
was cooking
say
with Rodgers.
I'm gonna switch to over. Actually, I was trying to have
Let's
some
go.
unders
Yeah.
here, but you know
Let's
what?
go. We got
Let's-
plenty of unders. We got
Dude.
plenty of unders.
I only
there's
have how many do I have under? I don't think I have like 3 now. Dak,
One.
who I had Dak under. I had Oh.
Brock Purdy under.
Brock
Jordan
Purdy and
Love
Jordan
under.
Love, and that's about it.
That's it. I have Trevor, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow,
Okay,
and
damn.
that's it.
Well, injuries.
Cody
are gonna mess
got
all of this up.
Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's a fun segment.
That was a good segment. Good segment.
Good stuff.
Let me say something before we switch the segment.
We've already been almost an hour here, boys. We need to tighten up.
Will Levis,
Oh
let me
my
tell you something. Is winning. Okay.
Yeah.
We could go undefeated, ladies and gentlemen. I mean,
Okay. We're
Listen
getting a
here.
little too hot
Let's
on
slow
these
your roll
takes
there.
here.
The mayo man is about to deliver. Okay, he's finna cook. He's had
Is
a
he?
lot of mayo. He's finna produce the sauce.
Hope we didn't have a
Okay.
lot of mayo. This man gonna be.
He gonna be shitting.
If he wins, if we produce and he actually has a great season,
Oh.
I'm buying a mayo man shirt.
I
And
think
I'm
Cody
wearing
might
it.
cover
just
himself
buy-
in
You
mayonnaise.
should just buy the mayo like costume that they have for that bowl game.
And I'm gonna wear it on the podcast.
It's
Clip
gonna
it
be
right now.
It's gonna be those TikToks where those people are in the bathtubs and they're just covered in shaving cream, but it's gonna be Cody covered in mayonnaise.
Mayo.
Head to toe.
And I'm just
bathing in mayo.
Just a Will Levis jersey on over the mayonnaise. Just
I never knew what I was missing.
All right. That's a
Thank
great,
you, Will.
great, great segment there, boys. So
Yep.
we're gonna go to college football real quick. Let's try to run through this.
Let's do it.
Rumor that I saw that I was dressing in the beginning is pretty crazy. I read it somewhere on a thread or was a thread on Bama Online actually, or on it wasn't. But yeah, it was Bama Online. Anyways, rumor is about conference realignment and possibly the ACC losing Florida State and Clemson to the Big Ten. Now, a lot of people thought it was possibly going to be the SEC for a long time, but it looks like, just based on like these TV deals and other things and whatever, it might kind of shake out to where the Big Ten gains Clemson and Florida State. And surprisingly, sorry, Bears going crazy if you guys hear that. North Carolina and Virginia may join the SEC. Now, for football, that's not the greatest, but for basketball, it's amazing, right? It elevates the SEC to a whole different basketball level. For football, North Carolina, Virginia are in and out of the top 25 every year. So it's not crazy. You would think Clemson and Florida State would go to the SEC for football, but you got to think about it as a whole. It's not just football. You got all the different athletic, the programs. So you got to think about that. But it would be weird. What do y'all think it would look like if you had the Big Ten that has now gained USC and UCLA, Oregon and Washington from the West Coast, and then you already have all the schools in the East and the Northeast and the Midwest, and then possibly way down in Florida with Florida State, and then in the Southeast with Clemson. What is that going to look like? It's just going to be weird, right?
It's going to be weird. And then,
but I feel like it could look.
It could be
like decent,
good for the games
the
every
Big
week
Ten.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for
That's
them, it's gonna make everything turn up a notch. So it'll
like
be fun.
The competition's going to be more there. I feel like, and it's
Sorry,
not just
yeah,
going to be so
this year's
much
going to be crazy too.
SEC.
I mean, yeah,
for
this
sure.
year's going to be insane. But I would say I'd take North Carolina if I was the SEC, but I'd rather have Virginia Tech more than Virginia, just because that stadium, the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that stadium's always packed. Inner Sandman, are you kidding me?
Right.
And I feel like Virginia Tech's just a better football team.
Yeah,
they are. They
but
are.
The thing is, we can't even look at just football because it's all the stuff. You got to look at
that is true. That is true.
It's not like they're just joining
baseball.
Football reasons. Like everybody's joining, and like
that's true.
It's gonna be one of those things. Like it's just gonna be weird to see Virginia play USC or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like Virginia, Michigan, or whoever, Florida State. Or not. I'm sorry. I meant to say Virginia in the SEC playing like Bama, and then in Florida State playing like USC and Michigan. And
it's gonna be weird seeing Florida State playing like Ohio State, Michigan.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that's cool. Like it's what we want in a way. Cool. We want to see more teams play each other, but
that's gonna be
what
kind
cost?
of, dude. It's gonna be kind of fun for Florida to go up to Ohio and Michigan and play in that cold.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Dude. That's gonna be kind of bad for them, dude.
And then like USC in California, you got to do it too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be weird, but
it's gonna be weird
for baseball, for basketball. I feel like if the SEC got North Carolina, Virginia, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Football, they're all right. No. They're not bad. They, what I'm saying. Like,
but
North
basketball and
basketball
and baseball, they're pretty good, especially basketball. Yeah. I mean, they're always
women's basketball, even like all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there's other things we don't know about, like the track and field programs or whatever. Like swimming and all the other golf, whatever. Like there's got to be a lot of stuff that's going to be good for both conferences, both sides. So I just thought that was interesting.
No, for sure.
Now, Seth, if you could share your screen one more
Yep,
time,
I got
brother.
you. I got you.
We do have another thing we want to go over. Cody, we've been talking about this every week pretty much, but this is another college football playoff projected 12-team field by Andy Staples on 3.
I saw that.
This one's a
Let me
little
know if y'all
different.
can still
We see it.
this
We see
right
it.
now.
No, we see it. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Yep.
with this, I just kind of wanted to obviously point out number 1, Ohio State, number 2, Georgia, number 3, Florida State, and number 4, Kansas State winning the Big
That's
12.
so weird, dude.
That's wild.
What do we think? Do you think Kansas State? I know we were talking about them a little bit. They were I think they were top 18, top 20 in the rankings that we read off, but who they compete with basically Utah and Oklahoma State, it feels like, for that
And then you got Boise State at 12.
Boise
Also.
State and Bama would play in the 5-12 matchup in this situation.
Dude, I mean, I'm not even a Bama fan, dude, but I just think Bama should be at the 4 right there.
Well, it goes off of conference.
It goes off conference.
Oh,
okay.
So Georgia will win
champions.
the SEC in this situation. Florida State, ACC, Ohio State, Big 10, and then Big 12,
y'all would
Kansas.
play Kansas
I mean, that would mean this would mean
I think it
that
goes by like highest seed plays the lowest seed, and then it just depends really on who wins.
Yeah.
This would mean if Georgia's number 2 and Alabama's number 5, that means they split. They met obviously in the regular season, and then they met in the SEC championship.
So they
had to flip flop.
Yeah,
they definitely split those. So it looks
they probably
like
did it where like we won the first game and then they won the championship or something.
SEC championship. Yeah.
So and then there was I'm sorry, what's it called? Yeah, it's Big 10 kind of in a way matchup with Michigan and Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame's still for football they're in their own thing, but I know they've been talking about
independence
with the Big 10 a little bit. So I was just bringing that up, but it would be cool to see Michigan, Notre Dame 8-9. And then 7 would be Texas, 10 Ole Miss, and that would be a cool matchup. Obviously SEC right there, but a really good game. And then 6 Oregon versus 11 Tennessee. You talk about watching the offensive matchup. There's going to be about 500 points scored in that game, brother. I mean, those 2 quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel and Nico Lamaleva, probably butchered that a little bit, still working on it. But those offenses, those coaches are crazy. I just think that would be a great matchup. So, Cody, in this situation, what do you think in these games?
I got 2 things I see.
In the first round, what would you say?
Obviously, the Boise State. That means Boise State is over Liberty, is over University Texas San Antonio, Roadrunners, who are supposed to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, that means a lot. That 12 seed. App State, all these.
There's some things we're not thinking about. But I mean,
that's
Alabama versus Boise State. Boise State, I saw somebody say Boise State would probably run every trick play under the sun against Alabama.
Yeah, they probably would. That'd be the only way to win, I feel like.
And then
that would be in Bryant-Denny.
The other thing is, I don't see no Clemson or anything. All I see is Florida State. That's pretty wild.
So no ACC schools other than Florida State.
Other than Florida State, that's pretty wild right there. Yeah. But I mean, I get it. So they're thinking that Miami isn't as good, Clemson isn't as good. It's just Florida State running it all in the ACC.
Four SEC teams and three Big Ten teams with Oregon now joining the Big Ten. One standalone conference, or no conference with Notre Dame. Obviously, you would have Kansas State representing the Big 12. So, that's a cool. I think Andy Staples is a pretty smart guy. I think it's a good list right here.
No, for sure. I like this.
Nothing wrong with it, other than, like I said, in our predictions, I've kind of put Utah as a lock. I think they're in the playoffs.
That's the one thing.
I think they beat that Kansas State team, but I could be wrong. And Florida State, I've been kind of. I think Florida State's not as good as people think. I think DJ Uyagale is not that good, and I think that they're getting overhyped once again. They do have a lot of good pieces, so maybe that gets them through. But I still think Clemson comes out of that conference, and Miami will make a close second. So but this isn't bad though. What do you think? Who wins the Notre Dame Michigan game?
Definitely. I don't know. I don't know.
It would be in Michigan.
I don't. That's tough. Just because
it's a tough game.
Just because Michigan, whoever the quarterback's going to be, is going to be just really not have a lot of experience. Where to Notre Dame's quarterback Riley Leonard has played in big time games before, has produced in big time game before.
Yeah,
I think he'll be ready, and even though I don't like either of these two teams, but I respect them. Obviously, I'm a college football fan. I love college football. So
Yeah.
I'm going with the Fighting Irish in this one.
Okay. I would probably just say this is literally a toss up, and I can't. It's too early for me to tell. But if I had to go with one team, I'd probably just go with Michigan, defending national champion at home. It's kind of hard for me to say they're not going to win that, but it's like I said, it's still really close, and those two teams are pretty similar. So we'll
Yeah, for
see. But
sure.
Texas, Ole Miss, SEC matchup, I would probably
That
assume Texas wins, but it would be a shootout.
that is going to be 55-53 or something. It's going to
Dude,
be something
that game and the
crazy.
Oregon Tennessee game would be
It's
absolutely
going to be
phenomenal.
it's going to be beautiful.
Bro,
Peak,
Quinn
peak
Ewers versus
offense right
Jackson
there.
Dart, top quarterbacks in the next draft. Some great
It's
wide receivers. Oh, hold on, what's the wide receiver one for Ole Miss, man? I always forget his name. Trey. Gosh, he's one of the better wide receivers in the
Trey.
country. Anyway, it slipped my
Is
mind
it?
right now, but he's a dog. So I was
He's
gonna
a
say
beast, dude.
both
He's a
quarterbacks,
beast.
both wide receiver ones with Isaiah Bond. Going to Texas now. I mean, it'll be a great game. Obviously,
I'll say
they have
this.
good offensive coordinators with Lane Kiffin and Sark. So
I'll take Ole Miss doing the upset
on the
again.
road,
Two upset on the road.
Cody's going all upsets.
man, I hear what you're saying. I'm gonna say Texas. I'm gonna say Texas as well. As like I say as well, but like Michigan, like I had Michigan winning at home. I'm gonna say Michigan and Texas
Hmm
take care of business in a close game, and then Oregon and Tennessee. Um,
I mean,
maybe
I got Oregon.
Yeah, I just think
I got
Oregon.
Oregon
I
all
know I'm
day.
picking all the chalk games right now, but like I'm gonna say Bama too. So I think in the first round, all the home teams win. Maybe it's just me
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
whatever, but I do feel like college, the atmosphere is gonna be cool. Like think about it, it's the first ever college football playoff,
Football
first
playoffs.
It
Yeah.
round
is going
at
to be
a
wild.
home stadium instead of a neutral site. I don't know, man. I just don't know how. Like the only game I really think is like a real chance at happening for an upset is the Ole Miss over Texas. I could see that happening. But yeah, I don't know. Tennessee's got a young quarterback and team still, and going on the road to Oregon
Hmm
would be a tough matchup. I think Alabama would take care of Boise State. And then in this situation, I don't know because we're all over the place here, but yeah, I mean, who do you think would kind of come out of like the last 8 teams here?
The last eight.
Ohio State.
Like, who do you think would be in the next final, like the next round, the final four? Who would make it? Because I know we have different opinions on like who's going to win, so we can't just say, "Oh, it's going to be
Oh,
Georgia versus this team." But like, I know we've already talked about this a lot, so we can kind of just skip over this. But yeah, like, what's your last thought on like the playoffs? Like, who do you think for sure like is your strongest feeling for the last 4 teams left?
uh, last four teams. I'll have Ohio State, and then I'll have honestly, since I picked Ole Miss over Texas, I'll go Ole Miss over Georgia. Why not? I'll call
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Damn.
I'll call it right now. And then I'll have Oregon over Florida State, and then I'll have Bama over Kansas State.
Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
four.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, I don't know. Like, we've talked about this different ways, different scenarios now, the last 3 episodes. So I don't really think my opinion is changing. I think Bama and Georgia are going to be in the final four. I would say Oregon makes it to the final four, and I probably have Texas in there as well. So that's kind of where my head's
Hmm
at still. I just still think these teams are some of the best 4 teams
Oh, I
in the
mean,
beginning
all
and the end.
these 12 teams are
It's gonna be
they're
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
all
battle of attrition. Who can stay healthy, man? Now you got a longer
Very
season. It's gonna
true.
be very tough. But
indeed.
thank you, Seth, for that.
Of course,
That's
brother.
really that's thank you, brother.
Of
That's
course.
really that on football and for college. The last thing we want to talk about today, guys, is something in our personal football lives, and that's something we love and we appreciate a lot. That's fantasy football, and we're gonna
It
continue to talk
is.
about more fantasy football throughout the year when football ramps up. But we're gonna slowly pick it up, and starting today, Dynasty drafts just ended. It took us a whole week basically to draft 25 rounds of our startup Dynasty League, 12 teams. Yeah, so a little bit of background. It's our first year doing Dynasty. We've done fantasy football forever, though. A lot of other guys first
Long
year doing
time.
Dynasty, but a lot of guys are really pros in fantasy, so it should be a competitive league. The only other thing I wanted to throw in there, you get a half a point for a running back for PPR, a full point for a
Hmm
wide receiver, and 1.5 points for tight end. So you value tight ends a little more. Now, to say all that,
As
I
he
just
says
wanted
that.
to ask y'all, what do y'all think about your draft? Give everybody, starting with Seth, your 3 players that you want to build around for the future, the next 5, 10 plus years, whatever.
Definitely CD,
Okay.
Justin Herbert, and Brock Bowers.
Perfect answer. I like that from you, brother. I think that's a good core, man. You can't go wrong
I
with
think it is too.
the running backs come and go, so you can't
Yeah.
really worry too much.
Mhm.
And
You
my
gotta have
running backs are
you gotta have somebody
definitely
like
come and go.
CMC to build around or something to make it an exception. But
Yeah.
you have a great wide receiver 1, you have a great quarterback in Justin Herbert, who's young and he's got a good coach coming in. So they'll find
I'm
the talent for
excited,
him.
dude.
And then
I
Brock
hope
Bowers is a dog. No
he
pun
is a
intended.
dog.
Mhm.
Cody, you're up next. Your 3 pillars of your dynasty.
I'll go with obviously Bijan.
Yep.
Bijan.
Took him right
Yeah.
from me.
So get
He
me out.
did.
I had the 11th
I
pick.
love
Cody had the 7th. It was a whole
I
thing.
love
It was so
Bijan.
fun.
And we
dude.
tried to negotiate. Maybe. I don't know
I,
if he ever was really
Nah,
trying.
Nah, he wasn't.
I wasn't. I knew
He
who I
don't
was gonna
care
pick.
about me. He just wants to
What
rub it
you
in my
mean?
face. So Bijan, get him. Okay, Bijan. Who else?
Bijan, Garrett Wilson, and then probably Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
good.
pick.
Yeah. Yep.
So where do you see that core taking you? Like as far as
All the
like
way.
how many years are you gonna be?
10.
Okay, 10 plus. Really?
I'm winning the Natty every year.
You just wanted the natty. I didn't know we were up for that. All right. Well, if anybody cares, my big 3 I would have is Anthony Richardson. I actually
Anthony
no.
Richardson
Hold
hurt.
on. Nobody, shut the heck up. Come on. Let me
Little
explain.
hurt.
He's played 1, not even a year. He's barely played that year. But it's too early to say if he's injury prone or not, guys. Let's relax. I was gonna say though, Drake May is also in that conversation as far as my
That is true.
my quarterback to
Yeah.
build around. That's why I kind of got
Yeah.
It's either him or Drake May, which I've seen a lot of good stuff from both the guys.
AR is so good, dude.
So yeah,
AR
He
is
is
if
so
AR
good.
pans out and if Drake May pans out, I kind of look at them as both dual threat. So that's my like 1A, 1B. And then I would say my second guy is clearly Sam Laporta. I feel like in this league you
Yeah.
gotta have a
Yeah.
dog at tight end, especially if they're getting 1.5.
And we got that.
Right.
We got that.
Me and Seth got the young dogs. And you got Mark Andrews, Cody. Shout out to Mark. Good
Marky
I do got
Mark and the
Marky
Funky
Funky.
Bunch.
Marky
Yeah.
Marky
And
Bunch.
now this one, the third one is hard for me to say, man, because I think my team's just that good. But the third guy would either have to be Drake London,
Cody,
or
that's a what you mean moment right there.
dude.
What
y'all
you
don't
mean?
know. For everyone listening, I kind of run this league every now and then.
No way, dude. No way.
Cody's the only guy that can talk because y'all know I have the best record in the 8-man, and I've won it before. And I've been to the dude. I went to the semifinals in 2 different leagues, or I went to the championship 2 different leagues. Won the semis and the last 2 in the 12-man. Okay, got the ship. What Seth knows, Cody. I'm talking facts. Seth is garbage at fantasy for everyone listening. You got to know right now. This is one of the worst fantasy players. Don't listen to his advice.
Oh.
Start sitting. Nothing matters when it comes to this
Whatever
guy.
I say, do the opposite. I can't even
Cody-
fight Hayden's argument because
But when
there was at one point where I think I was like 20-2 against these 2 guys combined
2 and
in
20.
all of our leagues.
Opposite, but
Yeah,
yes.
2 and 20, 2 and 20. Yeah.
Cody is the only one that can talk. Cody, like I said in the first episode, beat me in 2 different championships last year, and Cody's got a great record overall in our league. So I mean, he's the 2-time right now. I can't say nothing about you, but you know, Cody, if it ain't you, it's me.
Nah.
I wouldn't even say that. I say
I've
it's
just
only
been letting
me.
them think. I've just been letting them
Cody said-
have their moments, guys. Don't
Cody said-
worry.
Blink the big 3. It's just big me.
Dustin,
That's what he said.
you know, it's pretty lonely on top. I ain't seen none of y'all up here.
Cody, I'm going to the top and I'm grabbing you and I'm yanking you down.
You ain't yanking. I'm cemented in the ground. I'm there.
Look, man.
You're just gonna have to keep handing me the trophy, and I'm gonna be like, yeah.
Guys, these 2 guys are ass. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you.
This guy's
guys.
actually one of the worst
What's
ones.
a mean?
Okay. Another question before we wrap it up.
I'm the 2-time Tonka, ladies and gentlemen. Get about it.
I shouldn't even. I was trying to stand on business. I can't. All right. One other thing about the dynasty. I was gonna ask this. It's not on the thing we talked about, but give me 2 players because we have a lot. We have like 25. Give me 2 players that could be sneaky good picks that could last a long time in your team. Cody, you go first. Not looking at your
I
team,
said him earlier.
but
Chase Brown. I feel like he's
okay.
super young. I I saw him there and I was like he could really develop if the circumstances are right. I like Chase Brown for the Bengals. I think
Okay.
they'll use him a lot, obviously, this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then another pick I had, it was Jalen Polk for
I
the
like that.
Patriots. I really like Jalen Polk. I think he got a little banged up last year at Washington. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure.
He did. He did.
Yeah. But he was so good when he was on the field. I mean,
Yeah.
and he could fly around the field. He has great hands. I feel like he's going to be a great target for Drake May.
Yeah.
I think he'll develop really like.
Boo.
Okay.
But your man,
Boo.
your team looking like a garbage truck.
Jorge Pickens. Jorge Pickens.
Okay. Jorge Pickens. Shout out Hoover. Hoover High School. Great
Hoover
guy
U.
there. All right.
And then
So what else?
probably him and Brendan Rice for the
Brendan Rice.
Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're just trying to hold back laughter. All right. Hey man, shout out to Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice.
Yeah, he's
No,
definitely been
he was
looking
good.
mid,
He's a
but
dog.
He's
a dog.
dog.
He got a lot of touchdowns with Caleb Williams last year, man. He really did.
No, he did. He did.
I was gonna say mine are A.D. Mitchell, and obviously I got that stack for the future with him and AR. I feel like that's a good
Yeah.
stack.
That's nice.
And
That's
then the
really nice.
other guy here is Wandale Robinson, Mr. Quandale Dingle. Okay.
Quandale Dingle.
Yep.
That's what I've nicknamed
Yep.
them. You can do nicknames on Sleeper. And today I went through, I was bored. I did nicknames for everyone. And you know what, since we're here, let me read off some of these nicknames. Amir Gibbs, I got him as Gibby with the race car emoji and the smoke coming out. King Henry. Sam Laporta, aka Sammy. And then see you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap.
Ladies and gentlemen, enough of that. Great show, everyone. If you're listening, Cody just disappeared from the stream. Don't know where he's at. I think it's whatever he's using. Well, everybody, thank you once again for listening. This is a crazy.
Oh no!
All right. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining the Muffed Sports Show. This was episode 3. I'm your host, Hayden Haynes. That's Seth Killen. And the menace that just popped in is Cody Hart. And we love everybody. And have a great night.